I'm Yahweh. This is Macabre Yahweh. Today I'm doing a video on the name of the Father, the name of the Son, as well as the name of the Ruach Kodesh. Yes, these all three have the same name, which is why the scriptures say, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Ruach Kodesh actually is one name. You can baptize in the name Yahusha, but you can also baptize in the name of the Father as well, which all three of them share the same name. So when the scripture says that, baptize them in the name is Yahweh. Okay. That's just my little interpretation on that. You don't have to believe that, but anyway, continuing on. Ever since 2009, when I first started getting heavy into not really into the names, into Hebrew. So I started getting heavy into the name around 2011. I started dealing with the name and learning Hebrew and everything like that. And I started to see how a lot of brothers, a lot of camps were able to swindle other, brothers, lesser brothers that are not on their level by telling them anything, or, going into a Hebrew text and just saying anything, but not defining it, don't know how to define the words that they're speaking. So it kind of like turns out like, oh my goodness, it's fantastic, but a lot of the times they know how to pronounce it, but not really, like with the vowel pointing. So it's different levels to this thing that a lot of brothers, if you're a low-level brother, you'll get got a lot, like me when I first came in. I got a lot, but I learned, and then I started to see more clearly. I'm still learning, but I'm doing this video for that reason, because there's still a lot of people out there just coming in, and they need to understand the Ahaya and the Yahweh, or the Yahweh. I say Yahweh personally, but you can say Yahweh as well. The vowel pointings have to do with the U as well as the way. And I'll get into that another time, why I say Yahweh instead of Yahuwah. And it's not a Yahweh with an E at the end, but an A. Alright, as we know, Hebrew don't have long A sounds, but it does have long A sounds at the same time. For instance, when you look in the vowel pointings, you'll have I'll get into that another time, but you'll have a vowel pointing that signifies that it's supposed to be a long A pronunciation there, but we don't pronounce it with a long A. For some reason, I feel as though in my Ruach that we're being slighted by not pronouncing the long A the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Basically it's saying that we have all of these different vowel pointings, but the vowel pointings still make it sound the same. All of them sound the same, so there's no point in the vowel points. So for instance, you can say Yah, but if the word Yah had a long A sound, you would say Yay instead of Yah. So, but in Hebrew they try to say that the long A doesn't matter, it doesn't give off a long A sound. However, I beg to differ. It just doesn't make sense to me, because English does stem from Hebrew concepts as well as Japanese, and a lot of the Japanese words are stem from the Hebrew. They pretty much stuck closely to the Hebrew text in the ancient ways than the rest of the world, Japanese and the Chinese. But the Japanese, for instance, the word shalom is the same word in Hebrew, shalom, for peace. And those are long A sounds. The O is a long A sound. Shalom, Om, the O sound. It's a long, so that's a vowel. So, yes, the vowel pointing should be pronounced, getting an example from the Japanese, but who have not, changed their traditional ways too much as far as the language goes. So anyway, let me get straight into this. When you see a lot of brothers or teaching about Ahaya, they'll say Ahaya, Ahaya, or they'll try to, take it a step further and try to, amaze you by saying, Ahyah, extra Ahyah with the vowel points, like, oh, they can speak it with the vowel points, but they don't define it. They just say it means I am that I am, but it's not I am that I am. They might say I be because I be, I exist because I exist. It's really neither of those, but I'm going to deal with that in this video and break it down from the modern to the ancient, or the true pictograph, which is only in the Hidden Truths Hebraic scrolls. and I'll break that down, which is why why that first letter over there in that Aleph looked like a man, because in a true pictograph Hebrew, the Aleph means man or authority or leader or head, basically. In the word Ahaya, the Aleph was inserted because the Aleph doesn't really exist there when you look into the lexicon for the word Hayah. It'll just say Ahaya, it'll just say Hayah. That's it. So when you look in the lexicon, it'll give you H1961, it'll just say Hayah. It won't say Ahaya, which lets you know the Aleph was inserted to let you know that it's speaking about, because the Hayah just merely means, in the modern, exist, to be, that's what it means, exist, to be. Just as HUAH, but we'll get into that in a minute. But Hayah means the same thing as HUAH, as in exist, or to be, or to become, and things like that. H1961. But the Aleph was added, in my opinion, knowing the Hebrew, the Aleph was added because what the Aleph means, authority. As in, the Aleph was the most humble character out of all of the Hebrew characters before the Most High decided to create, when he was deciding which letter he was going to begin creation with, and it turned out to be the bet, which is Bereshit, which is in beginning. So Bereshit, he decided to use the bet to begin creation, and the Aleph was the only letter that did not go forward to present itself and say, you should choose me to go first. And so the Aleph was the character of a man. So you have many characters of the Hebrew, which is another reason I wanted to go into why I believe that every pictograph, true pictograph Hebrew character, is the character of something that actually exists, a being, a being or something critical that actually exists, as far as creation and the Most High's concept of how things revolve and things. I think that it's actually characters in existence, not just random characters that we just, draw up and invent and give a meaning to. That's why I believe the Aleph was the character of a man, which is why we are in the image of the Most High. We were the character that was the most humble. We were the image of the Most High. We were the ones that remained the most humble and did not present ourselves before the Most High, and so we were considered the first. He used us first to make man. So that's why Aleph is the first Aleph Bet, which is man. That's what that letter means, man, or authority, or leader, or head, which is why actually man was created first, but he was placed in this planet last. So that's my whole little I have more on that, but I don't want to get too deep. But the Aleph in the pictograph Hebrew is it means man or authority. So it lets you know, symbolizing, since we are made in the image of the Most High, then yes, the Aleph is basically telling you that the Most High himself exists, or he exists, basically the one that exists, like to let you know it's given a specific. So and when they say Ahaya, tell them Ahaya sent you, like the one that exists, basically is what it's saying. And because Ahaya just simply means exist. However, these are two words. That's why I underline it with the red here. If you see the underline with the red, the hit by itself means the. It's a definite article, means the. And then Yah is the short form to say the Most High's name. So it's basically saying Hayah, as in saying the, existent, or the self-existent, or the overseer, or the all-seer. As they say, the all-seeing eye, which is what Shaitan stole from the Most High and tried to make himself. The all-seeing eye, like in Lord of the Rings, is not really all-seeing. It just sees everything on the earth, but it's not all-seeing over everything, existence, all the universes. That's a phony all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye over the pyramid, that's a phony all-seeing eye. For instance, the rainbow, that means gay now, but we know the rainbow is a symbolization of the powers of the Elohim, or the powers, the Kadosh Elohim, the undefiled powers. That's what the rainbow signifies, and each color for each Elohim. So basically, that's what that signifies, but today it means gay. So the all-seeing eye is a phony all-seeing eye if you see it on a pyramid or something crazy like that, But yes, the all-seer, basically, because in the pictograph, the yod is the ayin, is an eye, basically. The yod is an eye, and the hit is a nostril, meaning to breathe. You know, yeah, to breathe, to exist, basically. So that's what it's saying. You know, the leader, the head, you know, the head of life, the overseer of life, basically, the authority of life, you know, the overseer of life, basically is what that Ahaya means in the pictograph Hebrew. In the modern, it's just going to merely mean, in 1961, the Yah, the one that exists, or the self-existent. As in this one, I mean, the existent, or the existent one. But when you put the Aleph on it, it's letting you know the Most High exists. The, you know, the self-existent Most High. That's what it's basically saying. Specifically, the Most High, the Father. That's what it's saying. The Father, the self-existent Father, basically. Because there are three components. The Father, the Word, and the Ruach Kodesh. Basically, this Aleph is letting you know the self-existent Father. That's what that's saying. However, let's continue on. When you go down, and if you go to H1961, it'll refer you to H1933. And if you don't know how to, what I'm talking about, a Hebrew lexicon, a Hebrew concordance, you can look it up. Eastwood, Blue Letter Bible, kind of off. They kind of tainted the Blue Letter Bible, so it's not really reliable. Like I noticed that like some years ago, like with the word, like when I first started getting into the Hebrew, I noticed how a lot of words weren't meaning what the concordance, the lexicons were saying. So the Blue Letter Bible isn't really reliable, but you can still go to it to get some form of understanding. But it's best you download Eastwood and download the Brown's Briggs, I forget what it's called, but the Brown's Bible, the Brown Strong Concordance, or the Lexicon Brown, that gives you the extensive joint. So it's called Brown's Briggs or Driggs or something like Riggs or something like that. But it's in there. Eastwood.com. It'll have download for your Windows, whatever. You can download it. Go into the Bible section where it says, or the download section, and download. I think it's going to be download concordances. You're going to download the concordances, and you're going to go to Brown's Briggs or Brown's Driggs, as well as you have different Bible versions as well, like the Hebrew New Testament, the Hebrew Old Testament, or the Hebrew Aramaic New Testament. Anyway, continuing on. When you look into the Hebrew lexicon, or go to Eastwood and type in H1961, it's going to refer you to H1933, and H1933 is these three characters. Excuse me, stuttering. Which means to exist. You know, that's what that means. Basically, in the pictograph, it's going to say life to life. So that's what it's saying, life to life, or inhale, exhale. You know, that's what it really means. It's how we exist today is inhale, exhale, because the hit means the hit is a nostril in the pictograph Hebrew, which means to breathe, and this is a connector, of course, but it's a feather as well, which is to let you know from above. So inhale to exhale, you know, breathe to breathe, life to life, which is how we exist. We get life from above. So from life, we get life. So that's what it's saying. That's how we exist, because that's how we were created. He breathed the breath of life within the nostrils of Adam, and so we exist. So Hua or Hawa, there are three different pronunciations of this word, hit. So you got to be specific. The vowel pointings let you know which definition, because you could just say Hua, and it could mean calamity and ruin, or you can say Hawa, and it could mean disaster, or you can say Haweh with the long A, and it could mean you know existent or breathe or to exist. But since in the lexicon there aren't really like vowel pointings for all of them, they kind of like leave you loose. They don't give you the vowel pointings on all of these hits. But so it kind of leaves you clueless as to which one is being used when. So I'm going to say this is a Hawa or Haweh, the long A one. I say it like that so you can understand which vowel point is there. You know, if you learned, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Hua, Hawa means to exist. Life to life, inhale, exhale, breath to breath, basically. It's how we exist. And then if you notice, of course, HAYAH stems from H3068, which is YHWH, which is to mean in the modern Hebrew self-existent, or the self-existent one, or this the self-eternal, basically. And the Yod is a third person letter, lets you know that you're speaking in a third person, self. So self-existent. Not really. Hold up. Yeah, third person, self-existent. If I got it wrong, forgive me. I'll correct myself later. YHWH. Hold, I gotta sneeze. Forgive me. Forgive me. I'm all sound like I'm stupid or something, but I gotta sneeze. Plus, I'm trying to explain what the Yod means. But the Yod gives you a personalization too, but it's basically say self exists. That's what it's trying to say in a minor. But in a pictograph, these are 2 words, and these are also 3 words. So you can break these words up depending, and you can play with them. Actually, you're allowed to do that when it comes to the pictograph Hebrew. You can play with these words and make them mean different things, but even if you try to break them up and make them mean different things, they're still going to mean the same thing all in all. So you can say Yahuwah or Yahweh. Like I said, the hit, wab, hit, whichever way you pronounce it is going to give a certain meaning. That's the whole point of the Masoretic vowel points, not just for the pronunciation, but for the definition, so you can know which word you're using, because you have the shin and you have the mem, but the shin can sometimes be the sin, but that's modern. So anyway, going back to shin and mem, you don't know which one it is if you don't use the vowel points. You don't know if it's shem or sham. Those are 2 different meanings. We know shem means name, but what does sham mean? And how do you know which one to use? You know, that's basically the whole point here. So the same thing with YHWH. How do you know if it's Yahuwah? How do you know it's Yahweh? Which vowel point goes where, and to give the definition. That's where the clueless part. I have to do more research, but I don't have resources, or the resources aren't available to me to go deeper into that right now. So pretty much everybody can just say whatever they want to say, however they feel best to say it, like Yahuwah, Yahweh. You know, it sounds better to say Yahuwah because you have Yehuda, Yahusha. You know, you have the U there a lot in different places. However, when it comes to the Most High's name, the integrity must be retained. In my opinion, their integrity must be retained. So I do not change the wav to a U sound. I just keep it wav, because that is the original character of it. Wow, so basically Yahweh, and not just saying Yahweh, just Yahweh as in the long A sound, not the EH, but the A. Or you can say Yahweh, you know, Yahweh or Yahweh. In my opinion, Yahweh or Yahweh sounds closer to the pure, untainted, untampered with way. You know, you're not using the U or the double U. Well, actually, you're using the double U, not the regular U, the Wav. Anyway, not the double V either. The double V is the, you know, anyway, the double U is what we're using instead of the one U. And in my viewpoint. But either or, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh. Anything else really I'm struggling with. But those 3 I'm good with. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, and Yahweh. Actually, those 4. I'm okay. I don't have no problems. But anyway, going on. Also, another way in the pictograph Hebrew and the hidden truth Hebraic scrolls, the Yod is the eye, as I said before. The hit is the nostril, and the Wav is the feather. So here we have all seer. The first character is the eye, that lets you know whoever this is overseeing. So it's not the Aleph. So yes, give it that the Aleph lets you know specifically the Most High. So GOCC is right in that sense. That is the name of the Most High. Also, this is the name of the Most High, as in his entirety, because the Yod is basically the overseer, and there are many that oversee, meaning the Elohim oversee, which are the 7 Ruachim or Rachamim. There's 7 of them, as referred to in Isaiah 11:2 or Yeshayahu 11:2. It gives you the 7. Then you have the 3, which is the Father, which is the Most High, and you have the Son, which is the Word, and you have the Ruach Kodesh, which is the undefiled energy or the undefiled soul. Those are the 3 components, and then you have the 7, which makes up 10 altogether. Elohim, which makes altogether the Kadosh Elohim. But the name is YHWH. And that Yod is letting you know all of these oversee. This is specifically saying the Father himself, but this is saying all of them together as the whole complete being of the Father himself. Because he take parts of himself and divide them into different parts. Like he said in, I think it's the book of Enoch, or the book of the secrets of Enoch, where he said, my thought is my counselor, and wisdom in my word and wisdom I have made. Basically, the different abstract, he is abstract himself, but he made abstractions of the abstract part of himself, meaning he took the abstract and made it concrete, as in the word became flesh, or wisdom, is the Ruach Kodesh, and dwells within men and women. So that he took the abstract parts of himself and made them concrete, and so, but it's still, his thought is his counselor, and his wisdom and his word are made. So it's not that they just created out of nowhere. No, he made them visible. They always existed. He just made them concrete, from abstract to concrete. So Yahweh is basically including all of the ones that are self-existent. They self-exist, meaning they exist within the Father always. They are him. They are the Creator. They are the Most High. They are, Yahweh together. But the Most High name would more so be Ahaya, if you put the Aleph in there, given a direct object marker of the head, the leader, the one, the Most High. Okay, so my point is this: when you look at YHWH, you also can see in the pictograph why I underline here Yah and then Uah. So you have the self-existent, or the overseer of life, which is the hit means life or breath, basically the overseer of life. The overseer is life over life. Excuse me. The overseer is life over life. The wav is the feather, which means basically above, or basically giving you a connector of realms or heavens. So the overseer is life over life. Basically all life, all the universes. Excuse me for stuttering up there. I got to remember the Hebrew characters in the pictograph that's in the Hidden Truths Hebraic Scrolls. Get you one of those. Preferably the Tanakh, but get you a Hidden Truths Hebraic Scrolls, and you'll have the Hebrew in there, the pictograph. So yes, that's what this name means. The overseer is life over life, or the overseer gives life, to life. So that's what that's saying. It all means the same thing, no matter how you put it. So in the modern, it means self-existent, but in the pictograph, it means what I just said. But in the modern, the reason why we say YHWH more specifically is because this name would be more so what we call a proper noun in English. It's a proper noun. It's a name. It's not to be changed. It's not to be transliter. I mean, it cannot be transliterated, as in there's no. I'll say it cannot be transliterated, as in it must still retain its integrity, as in saying YHWH, Yahweh, or Yahweh, or Yahweh, or Yahuwah if you say that, but it still must be retained in its pronunciation and everything. It cannot be Jehovah, and stuff like that. It cannot be transliterated into Jehovah. It cannot be transliterated, but it can be translated, but not transliterated. Ahaya, more so the Aleph was added on, so that's not really a complete proper noun name. It's more so a statement in the modern Hebrew, but in the pictograph you can understand what the core of the word is really trying to say. But as a statement, it's basically saying, the self-existent. Tell them this, basically who should I say sent me? Or tell them the Most High that self-exists, is the one that sent you. That's what he's saying. Or I'm the self-existent because I'm the self-existent. In the modern, in the modern to the English is what that would mean. I'm the self-existent because I am is just a partial. It would more so be I'm the self-existent because I'm the self-existent. Tell them that. Or I'm the self-existent have sent you. Or the self-existent have sent you. Basically, is what it's all saying. It's all still telling you that in the modern it's self-existent. As well as in the pictograph, it's telling you that this is specifically the Most High with the Aleph there. But without the Aleph, it's just hit, which just exists, which is no name. But here, this is the name. The Yod gives you The ayin, the I lets you know. The ones who oversee. Basically, everyone who is self-existent that oversees is called Yahweh, which is the Kodesh, the Kadosh, or the Kodesh, or the Kadash, Elohim, or Alahayim if you say it like that, but anyway, regardless, from 1961 is what you'll get when you read in the lexicon H3068. It'll say from 1961, which brings you right back to Ahaya. So regardless how you want to say it, you can go from Ahaya to Yahweh to Ahaya. It's still the same thing. So in the modern and in the pictograph, the definitions in the modern and the definitions in the pictograph all still stem to one another. So when people say it's not Yahweh, it's Ahaya. It's not Ahaya, it's Yahweh, but it's actually both. They both are the same thing in its root, in its core. If you understand Hebrew or the pictograph Hebrew, they are both the same thing. They're saying the same thing in different tenses and different contexts. They're saying the same thing. The Most High is the self-existent, and this one is saying the all-seers. The ones who oversee. It's including all of them. So the Most High included is in this one, which is why we use this name. That's why in Exodus or Shemot 13:15 and not just 13:14 it says, moreover, Yahweh has sent you. Meaning all of us, meaning the Most High and everyone, the Elohim and everybody that was part of the Most High that exists, that helped creation. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, all the different abstract parts of Him that He had made concrete. Took part in the creation. The Elohim and the Father of the Word and the Ruach Kodesh, they all took part in it. So that's why it says Yahweh. They are the overseers, the all-seers over all universes. The Shekinah, the order of the Father, the bosom of the Father. Yehukin in 15. I come from the bosom of the Father. I go and prepare a place for you, which is the bosom of the Father. Or Yehukin in 118. No one has seen the Father but the Son, who came from the bosom of the Father, the house of the Father. That's telling you the same thing. So all of those, the ones that come from the bosom of the Father, the order of the Father, the ones that help creation. Okay, so before this is over, real quick, they'll argue you and say, well, Yahweh means a calamity and ruin. So does Ahaya. So we'll go to the hate first. This I put here because it's the only one 1942 is the only one with a vowel pointing. And in the middle here, you'll see it's a dagesh. But the dagesh in the middle of the wav gives it the oo sound. It doesn't give it a double W. Like it's not going to be WW as the Hebrew rules go. It's not going to be WW. It's just going to be a U. They let you know it's the double U instead of just the one wav. So HUAH is what is here. And it means engulfing, ruin, calamity, and destruction. So if you put the yod on the front of this, it'll mean engulfing, ruin, calamity, and ruin. So overseer of engulfing, ruin, calamity, and ruin. Calamity and destruction. Okay, it means that. In 1943, H1943, HAWAH, it didn't give a vowel pointings here, so you don't know, how to really pronounce it to give a distinction difference from this one. Well, this one you can distinctly tell is different from this. But the dagesh here and no dagesh here lets you know that is the differences. But they still pretty much mean the same, ruin and disaster. However, when you go over here to Hayah, which is the core of, Ahaya, which is 1962, one number down as people really were reading, it means calamity and destruction. So how do we know which one is being used here? It doesn't really matter because we see from the flood and different times, when he delivered Israel from, Mitzrayim or Egypt, he was calamity and ruin to those people. But he's also, like he said, in Deuteronomy 28, the whole thing is talking about you'll be increased if you keep my commandments and you'll be cursed if you don't. So yes, he's calamity and ruin to those who do not keep his mitzvot, his commandments. But he is increases to those who keep his commandments and does them. Also, there's a HUAH, 1933, that means exist. So how do you know which one is Yahweh or Yahuwah and which one, this is HUAH. But how do you know which one is this one or the 1943 or 1933? You can't tell. How do you know which one is which? So anyway, with that said, I'll say shalom and you ponder on it. Yep. Shalom, shalom.